Shri Vishnu Chitta Kulanandana Kalpavallim Shri Rangaraja Harichandana Yoga Drishyam Sakshat Shamam Karunaya Kamalamivanyam Godha Mananya Sharanam Prapadye. To that Godha, who is the Kalpaka Vriksha. The Kalpaka basically will give anything that we want. So that tree can give whatever we wish for, right? Godha is compared to that Kalpaka, where she will give whatever we want because she is our mother. We are in this earth, so we want air to breathe. Here you go. We want water, she gives it to us. She gives us anything that we want. Not just that, if we ask for Krishna, she gives that also to us because she is always with him. She is born in the great Kula of Sri Vishnu Chitta Kulanandana. Sri Vishnu Chitta. Who is Vishnu Chitta? Vishnu Chitta is the father of Andal, our little Godha Andal. Just like Mata Sita was found, she was not taken any birth. She's a Ionija where she was not born the way we are born. She appeared, she took an avatar. Just as how Mata Sita was found by King Janaka, our Godha Devi was found by Sri Vishnu Chitta, by the great person whose chitta, whose mind was completely engrossed with the thought of Krishna, 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 Vishnu. Except Vishnu, there was nothing in his mind at all. Sri Vishnu Chitta, his mind was fully in the thought of Vishnu. Is that the reason he's called as Vishnu Chitta? Definitely. But there is also one more reason. It is because Vishnu always had this chitta of this great person. Oh my God, what kind of a person, what kind of a devotion it is. So, because Periyalvar, Andal's father, was always in the mind of Bhagavan, because Bhagavan was always thinking about Vishnu, he was Sri Vishnu Chitta. Think about Bhagavan constantly thinking of a person. What kind of a devotion would that person have? So, Sri Vishnu Chitta. So, to that person in whose mind Bhagavan was always there, and in Bhagavan's mind, Sri Vishnu Chitta was always there. To that kind of a person, Godha took the avatar of being his daughter. Think about it. She came there to make that Kula happy. Kula Nandana. She made that Kula itself happy. Kalpavalli. So she's the Kalpavalli, means she's not just born in that Kula. She's not just a wish giving thing. She's a creeper, a Kalpaka creeper. Why is that called as a Kalpaka creeper? Because a creeper always needs a support. And what is the support that is happening here? Support is Bhagavan Vishnu. So, Sri Rangaraja, this Kalpaka Vriksha, Kalpaka Valli, the creeper, is now taking the support of Rangaraja, the Bhagavan residing in Sri Ranga. And how is he? Harichandana Yoga Drishyam. He is so fragrant with the red sandalwood paste all around him. Sri Rangaraja Harichandana Yoga Drishyam. And who is this Kalpavalli? Who is this person who gives whatever we want, including Bhagavan? Who is that person? Sakshat Shamam. Completely the incarnate of our Bhumi Mata. Karunaya Kamalamivanyam. When it comes to her Karuna, she is equivalent to Mata Mahalakshmi. Kamala means goddess Mahalakshmi. Kamala is lotus, right? So goddess Mahalakshmi resides on the lotus. Kamalamivanyam. And what is her name? She is Godha. These two letters, when you listen to it, it gives so much of happiness. When you think about it, your mind is filled with happiness. She came here just for our sake. She learnt everything in the Varaka avatara directly from Bhagavan. Just to deliver it to us, she took an avatara. What kind of karuna it is. Godha mananya sharana sharanam prapatye. I completely surrender to this Godha. Who else can be equated to our Godha? Godha is ultimate because she takes in multiple roles. Her role is as our friend because she invites all the gopikas in order to join her in the devoted service to Bhagavan. So she is a friend to each one of us. The little Goda, 5-year-old kid, gave us the entire Tirupavai, right? So she's our little friend, little Goda. And then she's our Acharya. Acharya because she gives us instructions of what Bhagavan likes, what Bhagavan does not like, what we are supposed to do, what we are not supposed to do. Everything is given in the second sloka, second song of Tirupavai itself. So she is our Acharya. She tells us how to be devoted to Bhagavan. She instructs us of the do's and the don'ts. She guides us on how we should go ahead in our spiritual journey. Therefore, she is our Acharya. She is an Alvar. The meaning of Alvar is one who is completely immersed in Bhagavan's thoughts. The one who is always, every single second, every single microsecond, nanosecond, the thought reverberates around Bhagavan, 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 so immersed in bhakti that everything is bhakti. Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita says, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. The one who sees everything as Vasudeva is very, very difficult to find, right? So that person is a Mahatma, says Bhagavan. Now, for our Andal, everything is Bhagavan. Everything revolves around Bhagavan. Whatever she does, she thinks, even when she plays, she eats, it's all Krishna, 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 Krishna. So, that Mahatma, she's a Alvar who is always immersed in Bhagavad Bhakti. On top of all this, she gets married to Bhagavan. Therefore, she is our Mata. Bhagavan is the Pita. Pitasi lokasya characharasya, right? He is the Pita of the entire creation of the Sarva Lokas. Akilanta Koti, Brahmanda Nayaka, we say. Of all the worlds, Bhagavan is the creator. Now, Bhagavan's Patni, Mata, she's along with him in everything he does. So she's our Mata. She's the Bhumi Mata, the mother for each and every one of us. So all these multifaceted roles, Andal is for us. So we have to dwell on her Anubhava. We have to dwell on how she thinks, what she says, what she does. And today is such an important day where we are celebrating the great day of our Godha Devi, who is all these four things for us. She's our friend. She plays with us. She has fun with us. She corrects us whenever we make a mistake, like a friend would do. She is our Acharya, a guru. She guides us in the right path by giving the appropriate advices at the right time. She's a Alvar, always immersed in the Chintana of Krishna. Therefore, we can learn from her on how we can always get engrossed with the Leelas of Bhagavan. She's also, on top of everything, our mother. So it is very, very important for us to understand how much of love and affection our mother has on us. It is very important for us to know the story of our mother. She is the Bhuma Devi, Bhumi Mata, who's incarnated for our sake. So it is of paramount importance that we learn about her, why she came, What did she do? What's in it for us? How should we revere her? All these are very, very important. Therefore, today is the auspicious day where our mother got married to our father. Our father is the Akilanta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. We have to understand this term to understand the greatness of what we are talking about. Because Anda means this earth, right? This bhumi. Now, this bhumi is not a standalone thing. So, when we speak of the Brahmanda, what we mean is there are 14 worlds on the whole. 14 worlds would mean Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Tapaha, Janaha, Satya. All these seven lokas, starting from our Bhumi, all the way to the Brahma's loka, which is Satya loka on top, are the seven worlds on top of us. Below us, we have the Atala, Vitala, Rasatala, Sutala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala, all these, worlds that are there below us. Seven worlds. Now, together it becomes the Brahmanda. 14 worlds together creates one Anda, which is ruled by the Brahma, the Chaturmukha Brahma, which is called as a Brahmanda. How many such Brahmandas are there? Whenever we go to Tirupati, we will always hear this phrase Akilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka. Akila under Koti. Koti, all of us know, crores. So there are crores of such andas. And Akilanda Koti, Brahmanda, crores and crores. And these crores are ever growing. You know, when Bhagavan has these pores in his hand, in his skin, he has all these small, small, small pores, like how our skin has the pores. It seems these andas keep coming out of his pores all the time. So it is always growing. So multiverses growing all the time. It is all parallel universes going on. And there can be universes which are much larger than ours, way beyond what we can comprehend. So how many crores and crores of such universes are there? And who is our Bhagavan? He is the Nayaka. He is the ruler of all these Akilanta Koti Brahmandas. So he is so great, but he is our father. Pitasi lokasya characharasya. He is our father. What kind of a father we have? And our Bhumi Mata is his wife. She's our mother. So what kind of a mother we have? The moment we think that they are our parents, what do we have to worry? Absolutely no cause for the worry. And today ensures that they are getting married in order to protect us from every single thing. They are there to take care of us. So, this great event of the marriage of our Godha with Bhagavan is a time for us to celebrate, immerse ourselves in. So, the Akilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka is with our mother now. Now, Godha. Godha was found by Sri Vishnu Chitta. She took the avatar right below the Tulasi Mada, right below the Tulasi, in Srivilliputtur, which is in Tamil Nadu. This little girl, when Vishnu Chitta, he's called as Peri Alvar. Peri Alvar, he's one of the 12 Alvars who is worshipped. When Peri Alvar found this beautiful baby, he was surprised because the baby was shining. She was full of tejas. She looked like, gold glittering everywhere. And that baby was crying with such a proper Shruti. This Alvar was shocked. Like, how can a baby cry which sounds like music? She's such a Tejasvi. She looks like goddess Mahalakshmi. So, what kind of a child is this? So he is so very happy to see such a Tejasvi, such a divine looking baby, and starts growing her up. He pours the love and affection to that baby, and she grows up just like goddess Mahalakshmi. The common discussion between the two of them was, of course, Bhagavan, Sri Krishna, Krishna Leela, They used to think about Krishna. They used to talk about Krishna. They used to eat Krishna. They used to speak Krishna. They used to breathe Krishna. Every single thing was Krishna, 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 Krishna. So little kid Goda will sit. Her hair was so beautiful. So her father called her Kode in Tamil, which is Godha in Sanskritam. Go is a very, very powerful akshara in Sanskritam. The words and its meanings with the different tenses, everything is compiled in a grantha which is called as Amara Kosha in Sanskritam. And the word, the akshara go, has 15 different meanings in Amara Kosha. And Godha Devi, can stand for so many different meanings that Swami Sri Vedanta Deshika has used the word go in 13 different meanings in Godha Stuti, which is attributed to our Godha Pirati, Godha Devi. So Go stands for earth. So Godha, because she was an incarnation of Bhumi Mata, is called as Go. Go can mean cows. So she decided that she will transform herself into a girl who is based in Gokula. Therefore, she is Go. So Go can be the person who controls all the sense organs, Indriya Nigraha. So like this, we have so many different meanings for Go. So Godha is her name in Sanskritam, Kodai in Tamil. Godha, the reason she took her incarnation, took her avatar in Bhumi Loka, is because during the Varaka avatara of Bhagavan, Hiranyaksha, a demon, took Mother Earth into the waters, submerged her into the waters. We could understand it as, the magnetic power of Earth was actually shaken and she was pulled down. So Bhagavan took a huge boar, Mahavaraho Govinda, we say. So that was the time he got the name as Govinda. Go means earth. He protected the earth, therefore he was Govinda. He took Mata, Bhumi Mata, he saved her. At that time, Bhumi Mata inquires to Bhagavan. If you go to any temple where Varaha Swami is there, you can see that on his, on top of him, there will be this bukola. The earth will be there on top of his, nose. Now, it will look like one small round thing. How many temples were constructed during, ancient times, thousands of years back? We always knew that earth was a bhugola. It was round. And we say that only a few years back, there was a discussion whether earth was flat or earth was round or so on and so forth. We have always known that it was bhugola. Varahaswami, took Bhumi Mata. So he was so huge that Bhumi looked so small in his presence. Why did Bhagavan take such a huge form? Because he had to protect. Think about it, protecting Devi is of paramount importance that he took such a huge thing even to do such a small task. That is his love for Bhumi Mata. Now, when she was protected, she was still shivering. Bhagavan is surprised. Why are you shivering? Everything is fine. I have saved you. You're now up. You can perform the way you were performing. What is your problem? Matra Vatsalyam, the love of the mother, knows no bounds, right? So she says, I called for you. You protected me, oh Bhagavan. What will my children do? Especially as time goes by, all my children who all are residing in me, which she's speaking for all of us, she's speaking on our behalf. Everybody who is residing in me are my children. What should they do to uplift themselves? Please advise. So Bhagavan says, I have given all the Vedas, the Vedangas. You have everything for their upliftment. The Upanishads are there. They can learn. They can come up. They can do all the yajnas, yagas as I've prescribed, right? So why are you worried? Mata says, all these are for people who can do such things. Not all my children are capable of doing it. Tell something which is very, very easy. Sarala upaya, tell something which is easy, which all my children can do and reach you. The eternal abode. They have to get rid of these repeated cycles of torture, birth, death, again and again and again. They have to reach you, Bhagavan. What is something that they can do? And this conversation between Bhumi Mata and Varaha Bhagavan is called as a Varaha Purana, one of the six Satvika Mahapuranas. Now, when this conversation happened, Bhagavan said a lot of things, do's, don'ts, 32 apacharas, everything is there. And he also gives a Charama sloka of Varaha, which is very, very important. And then he says a few important things. Now, our Bhuma Devi Mata, puts knots in her saris to remember the key points. Like after every huge topic, we summarize it in 3 points, right? So this was started by our Bhuma Devi only. So she knotted her sari 3 times to remember the three most important things which she has to come, take an avatar, give it just before the Kali Yuga starts. Now Bhuma Devi is all set. She gathered all these information. So Bhagavan said, ask my children to sing about me, to offer flowers for me as Archana, and always contemplate on me. These are the primary things. So Bhuma Devi now decided that she has to give this to us. So at the advent of Kali Yuga, she was so anxiously waiting to help all of us that she took her avatar. Having taken her avatar, our Godha was just a kid of 5 years. 5-year-old little kid. Think, even our words will not come out properly when we are five, right? We will still have that childlike accent in some of the words. But our little Godha, when she was 5, gave us the entire Tirupavai, the songs of the little girl when she was 5 years old. She gave us 30 brilliant songs. The interpretations, the deeper meanings, the layers that can come from it have been written by so many acharyas, which goes to thousands of such details. So many granthas have been written just on the details of Tirupavi. It has meanings which is for our everyday use. It has meanings for our adhyatmika pursuit. It had different dimensions of meaning which can lead to different experiences. So many details in every single word uttered by the little kid Godha. That Bhagavad Ramanuja, who interpreted the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, is like, how can we explain Goda's Tirupavai? It is impossible for a person to understand the Goda's Tirupavai. So just because it is like Bhagavad Gita, which has so many different interpretations, Goda Tirupavai is called as Goda Gita. So people call it as Goda Gita because it is very, very similar in terms of the contents to that of Gita. It is called as Vedam Anaithikum Vitt, the seed of all Vedas. We say Vedas can never be exhausted, but this 30 songs that our little kid Godha gave us is the seed which contains the essence of all these Vedas in a way that we all can easily understand and contemplate, implement in our life. On top of all this, it has all the Upanishad Sara. So it is also called as Godopanishad. Tirupavai is also called as the Godopanishad. All this for our 5-year-old kid. Now, for her, everything is about waking us up, giving us the essential secrets. So, in the very first song of Tirupavai, she gave us Narayanane Namakke Parai Taruvan. Surrender to that Bhagavan Narayana. He will ensure that you get moksha. This is her first message to us. And when the kid came to the fifth song, remember Bhuma Devi knotted her sari 3 times? So she decided to give these 3 important things to us. She says, Vayinal Padi, Manadinal Sindit, Toomalar Toovittordu. Vayinal Padi means Sing. Keep reciting the names of Bhagavan over and over again. Sing his name, sing his name, sing his names. This is the first point she gives. Vainal Padi. Sing his praises. Your mouth is meant only for that. Manadinal Sindit. Keep contemplating on Bhagavan as you sing. Think of all the auspicious qualities, how much of help he's been doing to you from the time, immemorial, not just in this birth. All of us have taken so many births again and again and again. Vedas say that the number of sand particles in the ocean can be counted. But the number of times we are born, we die, we are born, we die can never be counted. And there is no guarantee that we will always be a human or we were always a human. 84 lakh different species are mentioned in Srimad Bhagavata Purana. We could have been anything among them. And depending on the karmas we accumulate, who knows what's going to happen in the future unless we surrender to Bhagavan. Therefore, Godha says, Manadinal Sindit, contemplate on all the help Bhagavan has done. He's given you this beautiful form. He's given you this mind to think about him. He's given you your words to praise him, eyes to see him, ears to listen to all his gunas. Every single thing is all given by him for you to think of him, right? So think of Bhagavan all the time. தூமலர்தூ வித்தொழுது, offer the flowers as archana to him. If you cannot offer flowers, at this point it's very difficult to buy flowers. Even offering to tulasi leaves, he gets very, very happy. If you cannot do that, all the qualities whatever Bhagavan wants me to do, all these kind of qualities in us are there, right? So ahimsa paramo dharmaha, satyam bruyat, dharma, we have to do dharma. A lot of these qualities are there. The moment we improvise ourselves in any of the qualities, that itself is a pushpa that we can offer to Bhagavan. So offer these flowers to Bhagavan. All this Andal says, Tuyomai Vandu. Do not ever bargain with Bhagavan. Offer these to him because he should feel happy. Do not offer something and then trade with Bhagavan saying that, I will do this, you do this to me. If I win this deal, I will offer so much of money to you. All these, as if Bhagavan needs it. I told you, he's a Akilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayakan. There is absolutely nothing he needs. Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita says, Trishu Lokeshu Kinchana, in all the three worlds, I have nothing to accomplish. Therefore, let's not try any kind of trading. Tuyomai Vandu. We are doing this because Bhagavan will feel happy. No other reason. So we involve ourselves in any of the roles that we do in our life just because Bhagavat Prityatam, Bhagavan will be happy. It is never for any personal benefit, is Andal's dictate to us. So when we do this, she says that Bhagavan will be very, very, very happy with you. Surrender to him. That is all you need. So this our little Godha gave when she was a 5-year-old kid. Think about our Mata. So she advises a lot of things to us. And as she grows up, she is thinking of Krishna. She is speaking to her father about Krishna. Her father tells her a lot about the stories of Srimad Bhagavata. So the child will ask, Appa, what did Krishna do at this time? Oh, he got on top of Kalinga. And then what happened, Appa? Is Krishna safe? So then she will feel safe. So every time, any incident that happens, she will be so anxious about what happened to Krishna. Is everything okay with Krishna? What is happening at this point of time? So little Goda was always thinking about Krishna, 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 Krishna Leela. Bhutana comes and then she gives poison to Krishna. Our Andal is very worried. Oh, what is going to happen? Is Krishna safe? And then when Krishna is safe, she is feeling happy. So all this she documents in one of the songs in Tirupavai itself, where usually when some event happens near us, we get worried. If some event happens At the time we are there, we think, okay, that event is important. But even now, news from a country which we are not very familiar about, does not really seem to affect us as much as the news from our near and dear or our close circle or something which we are able to connect to happens, right? Now, what Andal does is she goes not to the Kali Yuga, not to the time she lives. She goes all the way to Krita Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, wherever Bhagavan took avatara, and she says, Andri Vulagamalandai Adipotri. Hey Krishna, you know what you did? On that day, long, long ago, when you took the avatara of Vamana, you measured all this world. So I was not there at that time. But your feet, it measured all the worlds, how difficult, what a kind of a trait it is. So I could not offer my obeisance to you at that point of time. So now she says, Adi poetry, to your feet, I offer my namaskaras. Senrangathin nilangai setrai tiral potri. So you went there and then you won everything. Who? Ramavatara. She comes to Treta Yuga now. Send Ang Tennilangai. You went all the way to the place of your enemy. Why would you want to do that? Oh my God. I hope everything is fine. And then okay, her father told us, told her everything is fine. Therefore, Sendrang Tennilangai Setrai. You went all the way to the enemy's camp and then you won everything there. Tiral Potri, what kind of a talent is it? And then everything is fine. Pundra Chagadamudaitai. Now she comes to her Krishna avatara, the little Krishna. When he was a baby, what happens? He is, Kamsa, his uncle, sends demons to demolish him, right? So Shakatasura is ready to kill Krishna when he was a little baby, not even time for the baby to grow up. But then Krishna takes care, right? So Pondra Chagadam Udaitai. So you actually hit the Shakata just like a little baby will push its legs when it's growing. Like the naming ceremony of the baby was happening on that day. At that time, this happened. So Krishna became very, very famous across instantly because a huge demon died, just by the little kids pushing of the leg. So Pugar Potri. So like this, she starts, elaborating on all the different leelas of Bhagavan because her life was around Krishna all the time, contemplating on Krishna all the time. So at this point, what happens is her thought, words, deeds, everything is filled with Krishna Anubhava of Krishna. As the child growing, her father feeds in bhakti. The food that she eats is Krishna bhakti, Krishna prema. So she develops so much of love and affection to Krishna that she decides that Krishna should be my husband. Of course, Bhuma Devi's husband is Krishna, but as the avatara also, the child decides that somehow, some way, I have to get married to Krishna. Now, everybody who's her neighbor nearby, everybody says that, this girl is become insane. Is it possible for a human to get married to the divine? No, Rukmani got married. Satyabhama got married to Krishna. So why can't I get married? Was Godha's question. Now they are like, okay, Krishna and Rukmani were born at the same time. So Rukmani had the opportunity to get married to Krishna. But hey, Gode, you are born in Kali Yuga. Krishna was born in Dwapar Yuga. That Yuga itself is over. So you cannot think of getting married to somebody who's not even born now. He's not even taken his avatar at this point of time. So do not think of all these things. Be practical. So don't waste your time like this. Do whatever is required. Get married to the right person, because otherwise you will get old and you can never find the right person. Andal did not pay heed to any of this. She used to come and ask her father, Appa, when will Krishna come? I want to get married to Krishna. If somebody speaks about any human getting married, then I will not even live. I can't survive that thought at all. I want to get married to Bhagavan. And her father, being Vishnu Chitta, his mind always filled with Bhagavan, that is what he's been feeding her, right? Would say he will definitely come. Keep your confidence, keep your bhakti, keep grooming it. The moment Bhagavan thinks, we deserve it, he will definitely take action, not to worry at all. Because Vishnu Chitta is such a great devotee where he was always immersed in Yashoda Bhava. He thought of himself to be Yashoda, and the little Krishna used to be taken care of by Yashoda Mata. All the songs that Periyalvar has written majorly will be from the Yashoda Baba. He will call Krishna to eat food. He will call Krishna to have a bath. Krishna will create all kinds of problems while being called for a bath. So one such sloka, in Tamil we call it as paasuram. So that song goes like this, where Vishnu Chitta will call little Krishna to have a shower. And our little kid does not like to have showers. He keeps running around, he keeps playing. His body is entirely covered with the dirt which is there outside. And he does not want to waste time in coming and having a shower. He wants to spend that time also playing, and getting himself dirty. So seeing that is such a beautiful look. Krishna looks so beautiful with his body soiled completely. So here, as Yashoda, Periyalvar says, "Puna பொழுதினில் புக்கு புழுதி அலைந்த பொன்மேனி காண பெரிதுமுகப்பர் ஆயினும் கண்டல் சிரிப்பர் நான் எத்தனையும் இல்லாதாய் நப்பின்னை காணில் சிரிப்பன் மாணிக்கமே என் மணியே மஞ்சனமாட நீவாராய்." The beautiful meaning of this is, hey Krishna, your body is completely now filled with the mud, the dirt, everything that we can imagine outside for the way you have been playing. But all these are glittering on you, just as how the gold would glitter. Poona பொழுதினில் புக்கு, it's all soiled, but you're glittering, you're looking so beautiful in this. Everybody who looks at you this way can't stop but admire the beauty you have. But then they will take this as an opportunity to come and tell me, what kind of a mother are you? You are not even taking care of a child. Can't you give a bath to this child? Look how dirty it is. So they will come and it'll be a blame game. They will blame me for not taking care of you. So hey Krishna, please come, please have a shower. Krishna is refusing. No, 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 I'm not going to come, I'm busy, don't waste my time, I'm not going to come for a shower. And then Nappinai is there, So his wife, the little kid, Yashoda's brother's daughter, is there. So Yashoda says, "Look, whatever I ask you to do, you're not going to do. But you know what? This girl, little girl, Nappinai, is going to laugh at you, seeing the way you are. So you better come, otherwise she is going to tease you." So the moment Krishna hears Nappinai's name, he's like, "Okay, okay, okay, I'll come, I'll have a shower, I'll be good, dress me up and all that." And then he runs and comes to, Periyalvar. And then Periyalvar starts singing his next few pasurams, which is on, what kind of flowers will adorn Krishna. He speaks about how he beautifies Krishna. He speaks about what kind of, crazy things Krishna does. Krishna, it seems, will lift his eyebrows and his eyelids in such a way that he creates fear in the minds of the kids there. So he'll create all kinds of different expressions on his face to boo the kids around him. And then on the Yashoda's back, he will run, come, hold her back, hug her when she's churning the butter. And then she will start rocking him from the backside. So all these kind of Yashoda bhavas of Periyalvar is so deep that he considers himself as Yashoda. So at one point of time, there is a great incident that happened in his life where the king Pandya had a huge sadas where he had a question of who is the ultimate god. So whoever establishes this, he would give a whole, treasure bag to them. That would be the gift for anybody who proves who is the ultimate god. So a lot of learned scholars, learned vidwans, have this kind of sadas, the debates where they have to establish based on the appropriate quotes from the Veda mantras and the Upanishads, and they have to drive home why they are right in establishing this as the Paratattva. Now, Bhagavan comes in the dream of Sri Vishnu Chitta and tells him, why don't you go and establish that I am the ultimate Paratattva? You know it. So why don't you go and tell them that it is me? And now Vishnu Chitta says, oh my God, how can I do it? I'm not well read in Vedas. All I know is to offer my devoted service to you, Bhagavan, by collecting all these beautiful flowers from my garden. I maintain this garden in such a sattvic way so that every flower here would have heard the Nama Sankirtana from the time it was a seed. So I tie it up, I offer this as a garland to you. This is all what I know in the form of a devoted service to you. But how do I quote from all the Vedas? How do I quote, with all the Vidwans who come to the sadhas? I don't think I have so much of knowledge, Bhagavan. So I will not be in a position to do. Now Bhagavan starts laughing. He says, oh, Vishnu Chitta, do you think creating this garden, tying up these as a flower garland, and even your act of offering it to me is done by you? Can it be done by you without my support? Without me giving the knowledge of how to do it, can you do it? And then Vishnu Chitta is like, oh, how did I even think that I am the doer? Naham karta, Hari karta, right? Hari, Bhagavan does everything. We are not the doers. He is the one who does it. Therefore, now having realized this, he says, Karishye vachanam tava, I will do as whatever you order. So Vishnu Chitta goes there. In that sadas, all the learned Vidwans, the scholars who can quote the Vedas from different corners of the Vedas are there, who are all Sanskrit Panditas are there. They are ready to argue. And this treasure, the bag of treasure, is tied by the king Pandya on top of a particular place. Whoever is able to convince in no uncertain terms about the Paratattva will be granted this treasure bag. That was the understanding. Now, every person comes and says, Pandyamana is not really convinced, because when one person says, the other person argues with a loophole in that. Now, our Vishnu Chitta comes there. He is not well versed in Vedas, as I said earlier. So, the moment he comes, his mouth starts pouring out the relevant text from the Vedas, the Upanishads, the appropriate pramanas. Everything just flow out of his mouth. And whatever was tied on top, the treasure bag, automatically fell down, convincing everybody who had assembled there that what Vishnu Chitta told is the ultimate truth. So, Vendikil Arthan, the bag actually fell down automatically. So, the King Pandya was so happy that, everybody was convinced by the appropriate facts given by Vishnu Chitta. So, to celebrate this great event, he organizes for a procession where there is a huge elephant. On top of it, he places, umbrella below which Sri Vishnu Chitta is asked to take his seat, and the bells of the elephants are all tied together. A huge procession is organized. So before him, there is a lot of instrumental music that is going on. The bands are there. Following him, everybody does a Jai Gosha. A huge procession happens. Everything, king celebrating. Think about the kind of celebration it would have been. Now, Bhagavan is so pleased because Bhagavan always thinks of Vishnu Chitta, I said, right? Such a devotee can never be had. So Bhagavan's mind is always filled with Vishnu Chitta. Vishnu Chitta's mind is always filled with Bhagavan, but Vishnu Chitta thinks he's Yashoda. Okay. Now Bhagavan wants to see this great celebration where his devotee is celebrated by everybody. He loves to see that. So he, along with Mata Mahalakshmi, in their Garuda, come there to see this huge visual treat. So they are there. Now visualize Bhagavan on top of the Garuda. He's sitting on top of Garuda. Mata Mahalakshmi is there. Bhagavan has Chankha, Chakra, Gada, Pushpa, Padma. Everything is there. His huge mukut shining to all its glory. Prasanna Vadana Badam. Bhagavan is so happy. He's smiling to his heart content, seeing his devotee being celebrated. Goddess Mahalakshmi gives all her Ashirvada to the devotee there. Seeing this great visual, what will anybody want to do? They will want to say, oh my God, Bhagavan has come to see me. I'm so happy. This is the moment of my life, right? But then Sri Vishnu Chitta was like, oh my God, what made you come here? Everybody's eyes are not the same. What if some evil eye falls on you? Oh, Bhagavan, you should not have done this. You should not have come here. In Yashoda Bhava, he actually sings a praise to Bhagavan, saying that, may you live for 1,000 years, O Bhagavan. May you live for 100,000 years. His compassion to Bhagavan is so much that he does not want any negative to befall on Bhagavan. He knows fully well that it is the ultimate Bhagavan, right? Because just now he's established the Paratvam is Bhagavan. Now, having known that fully well, it is like the mother, even if the person is the head of a huge organization, to a mother, he's still a child, right? So, to this Yashoda Bhava, Vishnu Chitta, Bhagavan is his little kid. So, he's like, why did you come? You're looking so beautiful. So, he sings, பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம் பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு may you live for long, may you live for long, பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு may you live for thousands of years, பல கோடி நூறாயிரம் may you live for hundreds of thousands of years, மல்லாண்ட தெந்தோள் மணிவண்ணா உன் சேவடி செவ்வு திருக்காப்பு. So he sings about every single part of Bhagavan, and he says, may that live for 1,000 years, may you live for 1,000 years. Adiyomodum ninnodum pirivinni aayiram pallandu. May the relationship between me and you, never have a separation. Let that be for hundreds of thousands of years. Let it be eternal. So he had this parivu, or the concern, that love, the overpouring love to Bhagavan. Because of that kind of a love to Bhagavan, he was called as Periya Alvar. Vishnu Chitta started being addressed as Periya Alvar because everybody will have devotion to Bhagavan. Everybody will have that kind of a affection to Bhagavan. But this Alvar had this overpowering emotion of compassion where he blessed Bhagavan to live long. So that Yashoda Bhava of Periyalvar made him Periya Alvar. His Vishnu was completely in his Chitta. Vishnu's Chitta was also filled with him. Therefore, he was Vishnu Chitta. But his awarded name was Periya Alvar. He was a big Alvar because his heart was so big to bless Bhagavan. Now, this quality is come to our Andal multifold. If Periyalvar had so much of compassion, when Bhagavan came in front of him, he said, oh, may you live for long. Now, what did our Andal do? Our little kid Andal, when she is 5 years old, Andre Vulagamalanda Edipotri, centuries back during the Krita Yuga, you measured all the worlds for Bhagavan. So, for that, today I'm singing your praise. Andre Vulagamalanda Adipotri, let me sing the praise of your feet. Let your feet, be fine. So that kind of a affection is there in our Godha. So Godha is filled with these things that every day she grows, she thinks about Bhagavan, she, wants to get married to him. Her passion for Bhagavan keeps increasing by the day. So at one point, she could not handle it anymore. So she is discussing, she's calling a parrot, hey, parrot, can you please sing the praise of my God? So when the parrot starts singing, whatever she says, she starts repeating, Govinda, Govinda. Then the parrot says, Govinda, Govinda, hey, Krishna, hey, Krishna. So she starts conversing with the parrot on Govinda. She sends, a lot of messengers in different songs. She sends messengers across to Bhagavan. Look, you know to talk, so please go and talk to Bhagavan, whatever I say. So she will send a tudu, a messenger, a bird or something as a messenger to Bhagavan. And then she will put some coins, the shells, and see, okay, when will Bhagavan come and marry me? So all these are written as different kinds of songs where a compilation of this comes to 143 songs, which is called as Nachiya Tirumozhi. Today we usually use the word 143 to say I love you, right? Our Godha was the first person who said 143 to the ultimate Bhagavan using her 143 pasurams. So she had so much of love to Bhagavan, love for the right reason, because this is not about any physical love of a human to another person. This is about the Atma Vivaha, where the Jivatma surrenders to the ultimate Paramatma. So, this kind of surrender is what is exhibited, and that is how our acharyas have interpreted every single pasuram, where it is all about how this Atma goes through this journey, travels everywhere, longs to be united with Bhagavan, and ultimately how our Savior is going to help us by protecting us, because we are the protected, he is the protector. So that tattva of surrender, of sharanagati, is brought out in all this vivaha. So at this point, she was like, I have to get married to Bhagavan right away. So what she does is she keeps thinking about it. Now Bhagavan wants to get married to her as much or even more than what she wants to get married to him. He is longing, he is waiting for Godha, because he cannot have a person like her. He waits for her. Then why is he not coming? Because of us. He is not able to get married to Mata because of us. Why is that? Let us just think about this. All of us are familiar with Bhagavad Gita. Now, Arjuna is a warrior par excellence. He is there to fight against all the Kauravas. He's been there, done it earlier. There was a point of time when they were all sent to the forest for 13 years. The last day of the 13th year, there will be a situation where Arjuna had to single handedly face the entire Kaurava troop. He would do that and come out successful, in spite of Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, and Karna. Everybody will be there in the opponent troop. Arjuna will single handedly win it. And that is one more reason why we celebrate Vijaya Dasami. Vijaya is the name of Arjuna. So on that day, he had won all these, people single handedly. So he's been there, done it. Now think about the scenario of Bhagavad Gita, the Kurukshetra. The huge army of Kauravas are on one side. They have been humiliating Pandavas for a very, very long time. That Pandavas have tested all possible options, Sama, Dhana, Beda, and now there is no other option but to fight the war, right? So Dandaniti, they have to fight the war. At this point of time, a person with so much of valor who's been waiting for this all along says he's not going to fight because he gets absolutely emotional. He's already done it. So why should he get emotional at this point of time? Again, it is for our sake. What do I mean by it's for our sake? Because Bhagavan made him get emotional. He parked the chariot in a location where Bhagavan knew that Arjuna's mind will undergo this, emotional turmoil. He placed the chariot in a place where his Pitama, the eldest of their lineage, will be seen. That place could reveal his gurus. In front of the gurus, we don't even stand. When we see the gurus, Krishna says, Tadviddi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya. You have to, serve your guru. You have to be absolutely humble to your guru if you want the appropriate knowledge to be transferred. So Arjuna never used to even sit when the gurus are sitting. He never used to open his mouth to even talk unless he had a genuine question. He would ask the right permission and ask the guru. That was a kind of reverence. Now he's also able to see all his relatives, because Pandavas and Kauravas are first cousins. He's able to see children, who are like his children or grandchildren, that age group also standing on the other side. Now his emotions are shaken. Why did Krishna do? Was Krishna so cruel? No. Only if Arjuna undergoes this kind of an emotional state, Bhagavan can give Bhagavad Gita, which is going to help all of us throughout Kali Yuga, right? If this situation is not brought, how would we have got this greatest gift called Bhagavad Gita? Therefore, Arjuna says he's not going to fight, and Krishna wanted this to be given during the time of such a stress, such a mental turmoil, so that we will not have any excuse. We can't say no, we have work so we can't read Bhagavad Gita. No, my stress is very high so I can't read Bhagavad Gita. There's no time, I can't read. None of those excuses are valid, because this was given at a time where the stress was at the highest. The war is just going to begin. It's Everybody is there ready, the troops are ready, they are in the assigned locations. Stress at its peak. Absolutely no time, because everybody is preparing for the war. There is so much of uh, action happening everywhere. There's a want of time, so much of noise, commotion, confusion. That was the time the greatest philosophy was given. So Krishna says all of us have no reasons, and gives us the scenario itself in such a way that all these excuses will go for a toss. So the emotion of Arjuna was created because we have to get the lessons of life. Similarly, Godha Devi was longing for Krishna. Bhagavan was longing for her. In fact, more than Godha, Bhagavan was longing to get married. But then she had to spend some time so that her way of life, the way she led life, could be transferred to people around. Her pasurams, her songs, can be learned by everybody. She could lead her life as example for all of us to follow. Therefore, she had to live here for a minimum number of years for people to understand what is going on. Therefore, Bhagavan had to wait. She also had to wait. In the process, she gave us the Nachiyar Tirumuri, 143 songs. But then Goda is like, with every passing day, I can't live beyond this. It is such a torture not to be with Bhagavan. I converse with him every single day. Now, how can I be this way, right? So Bhagavan decides, okay, now I have to make her wait for some time. I have to wait for some time, but she can't wait for any longer. So what do I do? Usually, the concept when it comes to all of us Jivatmas is that we have dreams. Why do we have dreams? Because there is always this concept of karmas that happen in our life. For any act, we do a positive act, we get positive karmas. We do a negative thing, we have negative results. And we have to exhaust these, just like how a bank account has deposits and withdrawals. We have to have these positives and negatives, because of which we accumulate all these, get our births, try to exhaust this. All the cycle of births and deaths and karma theory happens because of that. But when we do some act which is not so big to create a huge karma, or so big to create a negative papa karma, small mistakes we do, we might think something, it's a very very small trivial thing, but even that can't go without a result. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? So what happens when we do such small good deeds or small bad deeds? So those are exhausted in the form of dreams. So we get some dreams, those dreams, fulfill our small little things that we do. The results of small things, we cover it off by our dreams. So that's the purpose of dreams. Now, that's not the way it happens for Andal, right? Andal is Bhuma Devi, Godha, Bhumi Mata. Therefore, everything is Satya for her. So Bhagavan thinks, if I go there, then nobody can stop us. We will get married immediately. But then she has to complete Nachiyar Tirumuri and lead by example for a few, more time. So what I can do is, let me go in her dream. So Bhagavan decides to go in her dream. Now this is one of the splendid thing that Andal experiences. Andal goes through the entire Vedic marriage in her dream for us. So she goes through 10 songs of how she wants her marriage to be and what was the kind of dream that Bhagavan gave her. So this is in the sixth part. We call the 143 songs, we divide it as 10 songs per grouping. And this comes in the sixth grouping, which is called as the vaaranamaayiram. So she starts saying, வாரணமாயிரம் சூழவலம் செய்து நாரணன் நம்பி நடக்கின்றான் என்னெதிர் பூரண பொற்குடம் வைத்து குடமெங்கும் தோரணம் நாட்ட கனா கண்டேன் தோழி நான். So she says what kind of a dream it was. So she starts explaining this beautiful dream of how she wants to get married to Bhagavan and what Bhagavan actually showed in her dream to her. He says, Varanam Ayiram. Varanam means elephants. Varanam Ayiram, thousands of elephants. Shura Valam Seidu, Naranan Nambi Nadakindran Ennedir. The beauty is how she even starts this whole visualization. Usually, when all of us want to go watch a movie, we have some people, like my husband, for example, he has to start watching the movies even before the first trailer of some other movie starts, being shown in the theaters. So he has to go that early so that he does not miss any trailers of any movies that happens. Now, our Andal does not want to miss anything of what would happen, relating to her wedding. So the way she starts this entire episode is that people are now going to gather and start coming. Try to visualize a typical nishchitartha that will happen, right? Like when a marriage is fixed and the groom side people are going to come. So what would happen is like we'll get a call saying, they've left, they've left, they've left. And that news will pass on to everybody saying, like, they have started. It seems they've started. We will tell all the key people that, yes, they have started already. And then after they reach a particular location somewhere nearby, we will have another prompter saying like, hey, they are already here. So get ready, get all whatever you need to invite them out. Be ready, come out. You all can stand outside now. So that kind of a message goes. And then everybody goes out. And the moment they come to the road corner, one more announcement comes and everybody is there waiting for them. Now, our Godha is so excited about everything that she starts our entire journey this way. So these 10 songs basically will go through the entire feel of a Vedic Vivaha, the beautiful Vedic procedure of wedding. Every single step, Andal will brief us as we progress. So Godha now starts by saying, Varanam Ayiram Shura Valam Seidu. So thousands of elephants are there, and it's in some faraway place. Vaaranamaayiram Shura Valam Seidu. So all these people, are coming there in these elephants in order to see her. Shura Valam Seidu, they are walking towards her. Naranan Nambi Nadakindran Ennedir. So Naranan is the Narayanan, the Bhagavan, right? Nambi means Guna Paripurna. In Sanskritam, we have a word called Bhagavan. Bhagavan means Shad Guna Paripurna, the one who has all the auspicious qualities completely in himself is called as Bhagavan. So Nambi here is something like a person who is the best in all the qualities. That's called as Nambi. So she says, Naranan Nambi. So that kind of the Nambi, the person who's blemishless, completely filled with all auspicious qualities, he's going to come and see me. He's right here. He's coming there. So though they are far away, they are in the process of coming here in thousands of elephants, she says. Now, what is this thousands of elephants? Why should Bhagavan come in 1,000 elephant to her, right? So there are many, many beautiful meanings given to it. I will touch on some of the internal meanings for us to enjoy as well. So one is that Godha is so important, so special that Bhagavan is waiting to get married to her. So if he is considered as a Gopala, a person who is a cowherd boy, that is not right for a person of Andal's, Godha's caliber, right? Therefore, it seems Bhagavan wants to project himself as a Vasudeva Putra, the king, Dwarakadisha. So, therefore, he wants to come in an elephant. So he's showing that, I'm kingly. I'm like so big. So Andal is the right girl for me. So he wants to show off while he's coming. And he wants to show to all the neighborhood saying that, I am getting married to this Godha. He's so proud to project her. So he's coming in the elephant. All right. Now, why 1,000 elephants? Why vaaranamaayiram? 1,000 elephants. Why 1,000? That is a very, very beautiful interpretation which our acharyas give. So these kind of interpretation makes the learning very, very enjoyable. Now, what happens is 1,000 elephants is because Bhagavan is extremely, extremely broad minded, where when we have something, you know, a positive thing happens, we are happy. When something negative happens, we are sad. We might share or not share some of the things that happens to us. What is ours. That's the way life usually goes on. But what Bhagavan does is he says, whatever is the negative you have, the moment you surrender to me, I will take all your negatives. You don't have to worry. I will make you blemishless. And not just that, I have all these complete gunas, right? All my auspicious things. I will give you all those auspicious things. Whatever is mine becomes yours because you've surrendered to me. So Bhagavan shares everything of his with all of us. He makes us look like him. The moment we go to Vaikuntha, we will also have four hands like Bhagavan. We will also have the Shankha Chakra of Bhagavan. Our appearance will also look as beautiful as Bhagavan. He will give his kind of clothing to us. He'll give his kind of eternal youth looking appearance to us. He shares every single trait of his with ours. He just keeps a very, very few things like Srishti Karta, Lakshmi Pati, those very, very unique things he retains. Everything else all of us have. So what this thousands of elephants actually mean is that whatever Bhagavan has, he shares it with all his people. So it is not sufficient for him if he comes in his elephant. He wants all those who are part of him to also have the same kind of luxury that he has. Therefore, when Bhagavan comes in an elephant, all his people also come in elephant. So it is a symbolic representation of Bhagavan sharing everything with all his devotees. This is called as the Samya Pakti Moksha. In the traditional scriptures, they call it as the Samya Pakti Moksha. So, which is like very, very identical joy as Bhagavan is gifted to us. Therefore, Andal in the very starting two words says, vaaranamaayiram சூழவலம் செய்த நாரணன் நம்பி நடக்கின்றார். So Ayiram, thousands of elephant comes here. He shares all that knowledge with us. He shares all those qualities, everything, all those luxuries with us. So here is they all visiting her in order to come and do the exchange, Nishchidatam, to confirm the wedding. Everybody is coming. So they all now start talking. At this point, what happens is like, நாளை வதுவை மனமென்று நாளிட்டு பாளை கமுகு பரிசுடை பந்தற்கீழ் கோளரி மாதவன் கோவிந்தன் என்பானோர் காளை புகுத கனா கண்டேன் தோழி நான். So நாளை வதுவை, they are trying to fix the date for marriage. Now they are saying, okay, so can we have the wedding tomorrow? Well, now the question is, everybody is here now. Why can't they have the wedding right away? It's because such a joy Godha can't handle. Oh my God, am I going to get married to Bhagavan right now? She can't handle that kind of an excitement. So if it is far away, okay, why not, a month or two later? That's too long. Andal can't bear it again. So what they are doing is, Nalai Vaduvai. Okay, let's fix the marriage for tomorrow. Pale Kamugu is like, the tree which we use for the tambul, the supari kind of thing. So those trees all are there. Palikamugu Parisudai Pandarkar. So they are exchanging all these things, as gifts. They are discussing what all should be done. Kolari Madhavan. Kolari is like handsome. Madhavan, Govindan, and Banur. So here she is using two beautiful names of Bhagavan. She is addressing first and foremost name of Bhagavan as Madhavan. Mayayaha Dava. So it is Mata Mahalakshmi. Her husband is Madhavan. Now she wants to get married to Bhagavan. Why is she calling him as Mahalakshmi's husband? This is like, would anybody want to get married and address that person as somebody else's husband? Isn't this really, really a weird thing in a poetry? Now, the concept, as I told earlier, is this is not a physical wedding. This has nothing to do with, we understanding it in a way that normal wedding of a person happens with another person. And that's not the way. This is all Deva Vivaha. It is about Sharanagati. It is about this Jivatma surrendering to Paramatma, which is considered as a Atma Vivaha of the Jivatma to Paramatma. That can happen only if Goddess Mahalakshmi supports us, but by being the Karuna in his heart. If she is not there, then Bhagavan's Karuna can never be got. Therefore, we first worship her, get her blessings, and then, surrender to Bhagavan, who will do whatever we require. Therefore, Andal here tells us that, Madhavan is most important. Mata, Mahalakshmi, is our ultimate Devi. She is our mother who is going to recommend us. She is the Karuna Swarupi who has to help us out. So she guides us here. Now, Govindan. Govindan is a beautiful name of Bhagavan to show his simplicity. Now he is coming all the way to Godha Devi's house in order to fix it. So when we have the right kind of bhakti, he will come to our doorsteps. He will visit us. He will do whatever we need, do whatever it takes in order to ensure that we are in the right path. So that kind of a simplicity can be understood with the term Govinda. Govindan என்பானோர் காளை புகுத கனாக்கண்டேன் தோழினான் Kolari Madhavan. Kolari means handsome, right? That handsome Madhavan, Govindan, that Kali. Kali is like, a youth, a person who's eternally looking youth. So he looks like, the right person, amazing personality, so handsome. He is entering. Kali Puguda, Kanakanden Torinan. So he's now just going to come there, and everybody is discussing their wedding. So they have the tambul, everything ready. The discussion is starting. So the fixing of the date is done for tomorrow. She's going to get married to Bhagavan. So that discussion happens. So who all are there? It's a very, very traditional Vedic wedding. So arranged marriage is what Godha prefers. So all the elders should come and discuss her marriage. So she's saying, who all were there during this discussion, right? இந்திரன் உள்ளிட்ட தேவர் குழாமெல்லாம் வந்திருந்து மகள் பேசி மந்திரித்து. So who all are sitting there to discuss her weddings? God Indra, all the devas, the head of all the devas, Indiran உள்ளிட்ட தேவர் குழாமெல்லாம், the entire 33 crore devas, everybody is come here in order to, discuss about the marriage. தேவர் குழாம் எல்லாம் வந்திருந்தென்னை மகள் பேசி. So all of them have come in order to discuss about, our marriage. And she uses this term beautifully as Magal Pesi. So they are like, please, 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 we want Godha to get married to Bhagavan. So what all should we do so that you will get Godha married to her? So that kind of a beautiful gist is given here. So Godha is such a premium. Therefore, they are saying, like, we will do whatever you need. All the 33 crore devas are coming there and saying, we will do whatever is required. What does it take for Bhagavan to get married to Godha? So that is the kind of discussion they are having. So they are saying, like, Magal Pesi Mandirit. So they are discussing about all what we can do for Godha. What will you need if we have to have Godha married to us? And Mandirit. They say all the appropriate mantras. மந்திர கோடி உடுத்தி மலமாலை அந்தரிச்சூட்ட கனாக்கண்டேன் தொழினான். This is a beautiful phrase again, where mandira kodi udutti, now they are giving her all the things which is required for the bride. So mandira kodi is like the first sari which is coming to you from the groom's side, which will be sanctified with the appropriate mantras. So we call this as the Kodi sari, the very important mantra sari, which we get from the spouse's place, as a first gift. And that is a very, very precious sari for any girl. So here, that particular sari is given to Godha now. And Mandira Kodi Udutti Manamalai Andari Chuta. So she is now wrapped up in that sari, and then she is garland with the wedding garland. So that is a kind of thing. And who is doing all this? Andari Chuta. That is a beautiful word that Andal uses. Who is Antari? Now, the Vedic procedure says that the spouse's sister, the Nananda, the sister-in-law of the girl, is the person who is supposed to wrap up the first sari and garland us initially, even before the wedding ceremony is just going to happen, right? So at that time, the sister-in-law will do these few things as a customary thing, where she will help the bride tie the sari and then garland the bride. So these are supposed to be done by the sister of the groom, so the sister-in-law. So here she says, Andari Chuta. Andari is my sister-in-law who did all this to me. Now, who is this Andari? When Bhagavan Krishna was born, right? So Bhagavan Krishna was born on Ashtami, and on Navami, to Yashoda Mata, a girl baby was born. Now, these two kids were transferred, and that girl baby was actually lifted by Kamsa. She, took the huge form of Durga, and then she said that I am not, the person you're looking forward to. That person is already growing up somewhere, and you will be killed by the eighth child, as already mentioned. And then she will vanish. So that little girl child who was born a day after Bhagavan, who was born on Navami, is goddess Durga. So here Andal says Andari Chuta, because she was born a day later, she is the younger sister of my Krishna. Therefore, she is also there for this, entire discussion. She's the one who wrapped up the mantra sari for me, and she is the one who garlanded me. So she says, Andari Chuta Kanakanden. All these, were seen by me in my dream. So, such a beautiful song. And then she says, நாள் திசை தீர்த்தம் கொணந்து நலி நல்கி பார்ப்பன சிற்றர்கள் பல்லாரெடுத்தேத்தி பூப்புனை கண்ணி புனிதனோடு எந்தன்னை காப்பு நான் கட்ட கனா கண்டேன் தோழி. So here all the pure waters from different directions are brought in. So the pure water is supposed to be very, very important. In fact, every day morning when we get up, we say that, Gange cha Yamune chaiva, let the water in which we have our shower be a really pure water, right? So we considered it as the Ganga Tirtha. So Nal Disai Tirtham, from different directions, a lot of pure water is brought in. Konandu Nali Nalhi, Parpana Chittargal Pallareduttethi. So all the this is about the capital function. It is about protecting the bride and the groom that happens during the traditional wedding that happens. So பூப்புனை கண்ணி புனிதனோடு எந்தன்னை காப்பு நான் கட்ட கனா கண்டேன் தொழினான். So the water is brought from all the beautiful locations. Now the engagement is fixed. So it is very, very important to protect the bride and the groom. Therefore, this kaap, this protection thread is now tied both for Godha and for Bhagavan to ensure that they all are safe. So this kind of a beautiful event which is done is also mentioned. So from the different corners of the earth, all the learned priests are bringing the holy waters, it seems, from all the auspicious rivers, and all the holy chants, the very, very learned people, Parpana Siktargal Pallar Eduthedi, they are saying the best of the hymns to the best of their capacities. And um, so they all have decided to unite Bhagavan and Godha, right? Therefore, they are now tying this sacred bond of Khapa, is what she's dreamt. Then going on to the fifth song here. கதிரொளி தீபம் கலசமுடனேத்தி சதிரில மங்கையர் தாம் வந்து எதிர்கொள்ள மதுரையார் மல்லர் அடிநிலை தொட்டு எங்கும் அதிர புகுத கனாக்கண்டேன் தோழி நான். So here, even now we celebrate this as the Kasi Yatra, where the groom will say, okay, I'm going to go on, to Kashi, because I don't think wedding is going to happen for me. So the boy decides to go on a Kashi Yatra. Then the girl's father and other relatives will go there and say, no, 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 you don't have to, go to Kashi. We want our daughter to get married to you. So you come, you can start your grihastha and things like that. And then they will invite them back, right? So that kind of a ceremony is performed here. That is the fifth step that she says. So everybody is now going forward and then inviting Bhagavan to come. Beautiful young girls are taking these lights with them. Kadiroli Deepam, the beautiful lights are taken. Kalasamudan Endi. So they are holding it with all the kalash. They are inviting Bhagavan to come in. Sadirila Mangaya Tamandirikula, beautiful looking young girls. Bhagavan deserves the best of all invitations. So all the best things are actually there to invite Bhagavan to get married to Godha. Madurayal Mannar. It seems the word Madurayal Mannar is one of the favorite names with which Bhagavan likes to call. Mathuratipate, we say, right? Mathuratipate, Akilam Madhuram, we say. So, Madhuratipati is something that Bhagavan loves, that phrase. Therefore, Godha here appropriately calls him that Madurayal Mannar. So, here, Adinilai Tottu Engum Adirappuguda Kanakanden Tori. This part is, enjoyed by a lot of our acharyas. They say that when Bhagavan is coming there, okay, now he is a Kshatriya who was brought up like a Yadava. Now, Goda Devi has been brought up as um, the traditional girl who is, in a typical Brahmin Periyalvar family, in a very, very traditional orthodox way, she's been brought up. Now, Bhagavan, some way, somehow wants to get married to Godha, come what may, because he's been waiting to get married to her, right? In as much as Godha is waiting, more than that, he is like desperately waiting to get married. So he's now scared. He's nervous. He's like, oh my God, this Periyalvar is very orthodox. So I should ensure that, I behave properly so that he will give Godha in marriage to me. So he's very anxious. So whenever we are anxious, we tend to do a lot of mistakes, right? So we might take something that might slip. We might bang ourselves somewhere. Something might fall down. All these kind of things we will do when we are nervous, right? Similarly, Godha is saying here, Madurayar Mannar, he's a big king and all that, and he's so tall, well built. He's trying to enter this place, but then what he does is Adira Puguda. He's trying to enter, but because he's so anxious, he's so nervous that my father should give me in marriage to him. He's placing this field like dum dum dum, walking so anxiously, like one bold one entering inside. He's not even knowing to be, soft and smooth because of so much of anxiety. Adira Puguda, the way he's keeping his foot, the bhumi itself is shaking. That kind of a shake is given. So all this I dreamt, oh my dear friend, is what Godha is saying. So such a beautiful anubhava. So Bhagavan being scared of, Periyalvar, Vishnu Chittar, so that he will give his daughter Godha in marriage to him. Such a beautiful anubhava. Now till this, it was all pre-marriage. Now it goes on to Godha getting married and what happens after the marriage actually gets over. So how did the marriage happen? We are going to that. Now Bhagavan has come, Adira Puguda, with all anxiety. He's now entered there. So what is happening now? மத்தளம் கொட்ட வரிசங்கம் நின்றூத முத்துடை தாமும் நிறைந்தாழ்ந்த பந்தற்கீழ் மைத்துனன் நம்பி மதுசூதன் வந்தென்னை கைத்தலம் பற்ற கனா கண்டேன் தோழி நான். Ultimate song. So what she says here is, Mattalam Kotta, all the Mangala Vadyas, the sound of all these Mangala Dwani is heard everywhere. Mattala, the whatever they play during the weddings. Varisangam into all the Shankanatha is heard, the sound of the Mattalas are heard. Then Muttudai Tamam, Niraitan the Pandarkal. A lot of torans are there, with beautiful pure pearls are all tied on the top. And because of so much of weight of all these beautiful precious pearls, even the covering actually kind of, stoops down. It is so heavy, she says. So at that time, what happens? Mutturaithamam Niraitan the Pandarkar. So under the covering, everything is, low lying because it's all so heavy, so precious. Everything is Mangala Dhvani everywhere. Maithunan Nambi Madhusudan Vandu. So here, Maithunan Nambi. Maithunan, her husband, Nambi Guna Paripurnan, complete auspicious qualities are there in him. Madhusudanan Vandu. Here again, Andal is using yet another term, Nama Sankirtana of Bhagavan. She says Madhusudanan. What does Madhusudanan mean? Why is Godha addressing Bhagavan as Madhusudana? The one who killed the Asura by name Madhu. Now, everything is so auspicious. This is when Bhagavan is going to hold her hand. Why is she calling Bhagavan as the one who killed the demon Madhu? That doesn't really sound auspicious when we hear it for the first time, right? So why did Godha use the term Madhusudanan? It's because this avatara of Madhusudana happened. We all have heard of the Hayagriva avatara, right? So the Hayagriva avatara of Bhagavan is when Bhagavan actually killed the Madhu Kaitapa. Now, when two of such asuras are usually mentioned, so the person who killed the asura by name Madhu is the Madhusudana Bhagavan. Usually, when something like this is mentioned, what happens is there is an inner meaning relating to it, which we have to understand. So, during the entire Prapanja Shishti, even before the secondary creation can happen, what was happening is 2 drops of water from the Prapanja water became 2 asuras. And these asuras were representatives of the Rajo and Tamo Guna. Now, they were personifications of the Rajas and the Tamas qualities. So, these two have become such huge asuras that Bhagavan had to take the form of Hayagriva, a horse-faced Bhagavan, and then kill these 2 asuras and retrieve the Vedas back to Brahmadeva. And then Brahma started creating the Shrishti again. So this is the Hayagriva avatara of Bhagavan. So because Hayagriva gave back the knowledge to us, we worship Hayagriva Bhagavan as the knowledge giver. Jnananandamayam devam nirmalaspatikakritam adharam sarva vidyanam Hayagrivam upasmahe. That is the avatar of Bhagavan as Hayagriva. Now, why is Godha calling this Hayagriva? Because all our Rajas and Tamas qualities in every Jivatma create different kind of hindrances in order to do our surrender to Bhagavan. So we have to get rid of all our Rajo and Tamo gunas, the qualities which disturb us from accomplishing our aim. Therefore, if any of these hindrances happen, who is going to help? The God who destroyed the Rajo Tamo Guna, the Raga Dvesha, whoever, helped get rid of those will protect us. Therefore, she says, we are now going to get married. You're now going to hold my hand. If there is any issue that is going to happen, the Vignas, if they come, you have to protect. You protected the world by giving back the knowledge, getting rid of the rajotamo gunas, getting rid of the raga dveshas. Therefore, if any of our jivatmas have these ragas, the dveshas, the desires, the likes, dislikes, anything which come as hindrances, Oh Hayagriva, you have to save us. Oh Madhusudana, you destroyed all those negatives. You have to destroy those negatives and ensure that we are a Satpatra. We are eligible to surrender to you. Therefore, she addresses Madhusudanan. Maithunan Nambi Madhusudan Vandane. So that Bhagavan, who actually helps us get rid of all the hindrances which stop us from achieving Bhagavan. So she prays to that Bhagavan. And what does he do now? Kaitalam patra kana kanden torinan. He now holds my hand because no hindrances can come in this way because Madhusudana is protecting. Now Bhagavan holds Goda's hand. So this is the panigrahanam, which is considered as the main part of the marriage. The moment the hand is held, the panigrinecha paninam says, right? Even in Valmiki Ramayanam, Janaka says, so please hold the hand of Sita. Yam Sita Mama Sutta. So panigrahanam he does to Sita Mata. So similarly here the panigrahanam is done to Goda Devi. Bhagavan is now holding her hand. Then the seventh song. வாய் நல்லா நல்ல மறையோதி மந்திரத்தால் பாசிலை நாணல் பருதி பருதி வைத்து காய்ச்சினன்மார்கள் ட்ரன்னாரின் கைப்பற்றி தீவலம் செய்ய கனா கண்டேன் தோழினான். So this is the main part of the entire wedding, which is called as a Saptapati, where the bride and the groom take 7 steps together. So these are the Rigveda mantras which are used in every Vedic wedding, where when these 7 steps are completed, the couple is supposed to be married. So every step there is a Veda mantra which is recited. So when the first step is taken, say that let Vishnu do this for you. The second step they say that let Vishnu give you the arogyam. In the third step, the Vishnu let him give this. Let us be friends. So let us live happily. So those kind of beautiful things are said. If we read these 7 steps, we will understand how deep our Vedic marriage is, what kind of information is mentioned here. So, for every single step, the first step, they say that, let Bhagavan Vishnu follow you. What kind of a statement is this? Let Bhagavan Vishnu follow you. In the second step, it says, let Vishnu give you the good health to take care of everything. During the third step, let all the happiness, from the family come to you. And it goes on to say that let all whatever we do, let us do as friends. So the man and wife become friends at the end of the 7 steps. What kind of a culture, sanskriti all of us have, right? So this is mentioned by her in the 7th song. வாய்நல்லார் நல்ல மறையோதி மந்திரத்தால். So all the auspicious mantras are said by people who are completely proficient with it. பார்சினல் நாணல் படுத்தி பழுதி வைத்து காய்ச்சனன்மார்கள் ட்ரன்னார் என் கைப்பற்றி தீவலம் செய்ய கனா கண்டேன் தோழி நான். So Bhagavan is now holding her hand, and then they take these beautiful 7 steps together. So best of the people are reciting the Vedas. All the beautiful leaf is there, where whatever is required for the yajna is all ready. Now Bhagavan Karshina Margaret Annar in Kaipatri. Now Bhagavan is holding her hand, right? So it seems Bhagavan is feeling so proud that he is now with Andal. So Makalitra Annar in Kaipatri, which means that like one mighty elephant, proud elephant, Bhagavan is holding her hand. So he is so proud that Godha is now with me. Yeah, she is now my wife. That kind of a happiness Bhagavan is showing. So Tivalam Siya, they together make these 7 steps around the fire where their wedding is now completed. So the beautiful Saptapati is now completed. Now following the Saptapati, Andal says a few very interesting things. She says, இம்மைக்கும் ஏழல் பிறவிக்கும் பற்றாவான் நம்மையுடையவர் நாராயணன் நம்பி செம்மையுடைய திருக்கையால் தாள்பற்றி அம்மி மிதிக்க கனா கண்டேன் தோழினான். So she says, இம்மைக்கும், for this birth, not just this birth, ஏழல் பிறவிக்கும் பற்றாவான். So this marriage that is happening is not just for this physical birth, getting married to a person who is born at this point of time. This is eternal. Yerar piravikkum patravan, the surrender that I have done to Bhagavan, you know, is a eternal surrender of this Jivatma to Paramatma. Yerar piravi means it is not seven. Seven sevens, which means eternity. It is asankheyam, we say. Yerar piravi means innumerable births. Yerar piravikkum patravan. Patravan means he is the protector. We are the protector. Nammai udayavan. We all belong to him, right? Belong to whom? Narayanan Nambi. All of us belong to that Bhagavan Narayanan, who is a complete person of all good qualities, personification of Guna Paripurna, complete qualities. So Nammai udayavan, we all belong to him. So we are his property, basically. Therefore, eternally, we are always associated to him. So, not just this birth all the time. Every avatar Bhagavan takes, Goddess also comes with him, right? When he came as Rama, she came as Sita. When he came as Krishna, she came as Rukmani. So, every time, Goddess is also born. So, this is not about the physical birth, it is about the avatara. And for us, it is about the eternal relationship between us and Bhagavan, where he is the protector, we are the protected, we are his property, he is our Swami. Nammai udayavan Narayanan Nambi, Semmai udaya Tirukkaiyal Thalpatri. Now, here is a very, very touching thing which Godha says, because here we spoke about Bhagavan being the Akilanta Koti Brahmanda Nayaka, right? The ultimate person who is the Lord of all the universes that we can think of. He is the ultimate Lord. Now, what does he do to every devotee? The moment we surrender to him, our Atma is married to him, right? Now, Godha is getting married to him. She says, Semmayudaya Tirukkai. His hand is so red, it's like a lotus petal, right? With his hand, what does he do? Tirukkaiyal Thalpatri. He holds on to my feet. Ammi midikka kana kanden thorinan. And then he places my feet on the ammi, on the one which we use as a mixer in the traditional things, the stone on top of which we are supposed to place our feet in the traditional weddings, the mortar kind of a thing. So kana kanden thorinan, I dreamt of all these things, she says. Now, here some interpreters have very, very interesting explanations for this. Um, the groom side and the bride side, now that they all are married, right? So they all are discussing. They are saying, our groom is the Akilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayakan. He's such a big person. He's not going to touch the feet of Godha and all. That's not going to happen. So that all these cannot happen. So do whatever you want. All this will not happen. Now, the bright side say, if your Bhagavan is Akilanda Koti Brahman, she is Mata, she is the same as him. She deserves everything. He better do this, thing where he holds her feet and touches the thing. They both are discussing, arguing. They are like, who is greater, who is bigger, what is happening, and all that. Bhagavan is now calling Godha. Okay, now let them both keep talking. Let them both keep fighting. Whatever happens, let it happen. Now you come with me very quickly. We will do whatever it has, because he is so anxious to go to the next step. He's just got married to Godha. He is like, this proud elephant who's standing. He wants to go to the next step and then get going with everything and spend time with Godha. So he calls her and she says, okay, let them keep arguing. Come with me. And now he places her feet on the mort. So that is one thing that happens. Now, another very, very interesting thing they say is like, Godha started thinking that um, now when Bhagavan took the Rama Avatara, he was going with Vishwamitra Maharishi and Lakshmana. So when he was walking, you know, there was a place where Ahalya's Sapa Vimochana was done. The moment he went there, the air around him, something touched her. In some Puranas, it mentions that, he touched her with his feet or whatever. And the stone, she was like stone, it seems. She changed into a beautiful girl. Now, some of the acharyas explain that if that could turn into a beautiful girl, now Godha is placing her feet on this particular stone, and Bhagavan's hand is going to touch that, what is going to happen? Oh my God, if Bhagavan touches something, if that is going to change its form, what's going to happen to this stone which is going to change the form? So Godha is all excited to see what is going to happen to the stone. Thank God nothing happened, and she was successfully able to get through this also, because she's already surrendered to Madhusudana. Such a very, very interesting way of putting this across. So mainly this is done because for women, they should have a lot of composure in their mind, where they are going to face a lot of things when they get married, right? So how to say that you might have to face a lot of things in life. So just be a sthira baba, be very, very clear, be very, very objective, handle your emotions properly so that you can get over things. In fact, the same ritual is performed for men when the Upanayana Samskara is done. So they are also asked to, uh, you know, uh, look at the grinding stone and then have the mental maturity like that. So it's like a symbolic representation to get us into the right mindset. Now, the next very interesting pasuram is about the larger homam. வரிசிலை வாழ்முகத்து எம்மை மார்த்தாம் வந்திட்டு எரிமுகம் பாரித்து என்னை முன்னே நிறுத்தி அரிமுகன் அச்சுதன் கைமேல் என் கை வைத்து பொறி முகந்து அட்ட கனாக்கண்டேன் தோழினான். So here, வரிசிலை வாழ்முகத்து எம்மை மார்த்தாம் வந்திட்டு. So earlier she spoke about her sister-in-law tying up the sari, right? Godha is always very, very inclusive. So here she speaks about her brothers. In Aima Tam, it's like, my brothers are there. They all seem to have their eyebrows, very, very beautiful. So she explains how they are looking also. Silaival, the eyebrows of them. Arimugam. Arimugam is like Bhagavan Narasimha. So the beauty of the line, she really loves Narsimha Avatara. In fact, Rukmani Devi also loves Narsimha Avatara. When she writes a letter to Krishna, she says, you are as beautiful as Narasimha. So Godha also loves Narsimha because he's supposed to be the most beautiful of all Bhagavans. Of course, Krishna, Rama and all we speak as beauty, but Narasimha is being loved by Rukmani Pirati, by Godha, everybody. So, Erimugam Parit, Ennai Munne Niratti, Arimugan. So, Arimugan means Narasimhan. Achyutan. Achyutan means the one who will never let people down. He is not going to give up on anybody. Chutihi Nasti Yasya Saha Achyutaha. So, he will never give up Andal. So, he is now married to Andal. That's it. So, whatever happens, he is going to take care of her all the time. Year Piravikum, ultimately all the time. Now, Andal is never going to give up on us. She is our mother. She is going to protect us. Therefore, when they both are married, it is a time for us to celebrate. So we are very, very happy. So Achyutan, she uses this name so appropriately. So to say that he is never not going to give up, I am never going to give up. So what do they do? Kaimel and Kaivaitu. So what happens? Now my brother with beautiful eyebrows is here. He is going to do this larger homam, which is called the Puri Idal. They put the fire offerings on the fire on behalf of this girl. Her brother does. So his hand is placed on top of which my hand is placed, and Bhagavan is also placing his hand. All three of us are there. Puri Mugand Atta Kanakanden Torinan. We offer all these to the fire. So this ritual of larger homam is performed with my brothers who have like bright face and beautiful eyes, and they offer all this in my behalf. So she's all inclusive about her family. Then comes the 10th, the penultimate sloka of Nachiyar Tirumozhi's uh, sixth, 10 slokas. So here she says, குங்குமம் அப்பிக் குளிர்ச்சாந்தம் வட்டிட்டு மங்கள வீதி வலம் செய்து மனநீர் அங்கு அவனோடு உடன் சென்றங்கானை மேல் மஞ்சனமாட கனா கண்டேன் தோழி. So now what happens is Kungumam Appi Kulir Sandam Vattitu. So Mangala Veedi Valam Seidu Manani. Now what happens is after they get married, usually the next day there is something called as a Graha Pravesha ceremony that happens, where they have to go to a different village, and they will be invited in that place to that particular house. They will go on to the uh, groom's house. A lot of these will happen. So in the way, they will go into many different locations, many different villages, many different houses before they actually go on to the spouse's place. So traditionally 5 days of marriage will happen, where different villages have to be covered. So when they go there, a lot of these rituals happen, where the bride is actually, given a beautiful uh, even now when we look at the weddings, the groom and the bride are made to sit together, something like a plate with a lot of holes where they pour water, a kind of shower will be done, they place haldi kungum on them. A lot of these rituals are performed, right? So she's explaining all these rituals where the sanctified water is poured on them, she's decorated with haldi kunkum, and everything happens. And very very interesting thing is that, Kungumam appi kulir sandam vattittu, kumkum is kept, and she's keeping the bindi. Mangala Veedi valam seyida manani. So they pour a lot of water on the couple, like a shower, and then they go on all the streets. They see all the people who are there. Mangala Veedi, everything is such auspicious things that's happening there. அங்கு அவனோடு உடன் சென்றங்கு ஆனை மேல். Remember when Bhagavan came to meet her for asking her hand, he came with 1,000 elephants, right, in the very first song. Now what's happening is Andal is joining him. She is also sitting with him in that elephant. So Anga Avanodu Udan Sendrangani, she is now sitting on that beautiful elephant. Manjanamata Kanakanden Tori now. So there they are offering this couple ka water shower, the sanctity shower, everything is offered. So this is, a procedure called Graha Pravesha that happens. Now the final song, Godha, says what is the benefit of listening to this whole thing in her own words. She says, ஆயனுக்காக தான் கண்ட கனாவினை வேயற்புகழ் வில்லிபுத்தூர் கோன் கோதை சொல் தூய தமிழ் மாலை ஈரைந்தும் வல்லவர் வாயுனன் மக்களை பெற்று மகிழ்வரே. So here she is telling her friend, ஆயனுக்காக தான் கண்ட கனாவினை, she dreamt all this. Remember, I told you, why is Bhagavan not getting married to her immediately? Why is he coming just in her dream? Why is he making her wait? Bhagavan wants to get married to her even more than she wants to get married to him, right? In spite of this, she's made to wait. Why? Because all of us should get this Anubhava. Because all of us should dwell on this. Godha should give this Nachiyal Tirumuri so that we will be benefited from her life, from her teachings, everything, right? So she is handling this dream just for the sake of Krishna, because Krishna asked her, okay, for now, just have this dream. We will soon get married, right? So she says, Ayanakaga tan kandakanayan. For that Ayan, for that cowherd Krishna, I am taking this dream, it is not for my sake. So because he wanted me to dream this, I am dreaming this. This is also for him only, she says. Tan kanda kanavinai, the dream that she dreamt. Where pugal Villiputtur, Kon Kodai Sol. Here she is bringing her father, her Acharya, the one who gave her all this devotion. So that Vishnu Chitta's daughter I am this Godha. தூய தமிழ் மாலை ஈரைந்தும் வல்லவர். I have given it in chaste Tamil. So this is 5 plus 5, 10 songs of this. Whoever learns, whoever understands the inner meanings of this, that this is the Jivatma Paramatma Vivaha, it is about the surrender. When people understand the true relevance of all this, Vayunan Makkalai Petra Mahilvare, they all will feel really, really blessed by having children or people around them who are devoted to Bhagavan. That bhakti will be blessed when people listen to this. So Vayunan makkalai petru magilvare. So it is like people who um, are the right sat patra will be the blessing that we get because of this pasuram, she says. So, and they will be happy. Magilvare. So whoever listens to this, they will have happiness not just in this loka, but also in the eternal loka, in the ultimate loka. There will have bliss. So while you're here, you will have bliss. While you go there, you will still have bliss. So Godha Mata blesses us for eternal bliss as well. So, having dreamt all this, Goda is now like waiting for Bhagavan. She writes her Nachiyar Tirumuri, the 143 songs, and then ultimately she is now waiting to get married. Every day she is like, okay, when will Bhagavan come? When will Bhagavan come? Is he going to accept me? When can I get married to him? So her longing for Bhagavan increases by the day. So one day she decides that every day we offer this beautiful garland to Bhagavan. So if I have to get married to Bhagavan, all I have to do is exchange my garland with him, right? So when we exchange our garlands, it's like getting married. So she beautifully picks up the right flowers, the appropriate flowers, completely dwelling on the thought of Bhagavan. She wears that garland. And after wearing that garland, she sends that garland with her father, Vishnu Chitta, to Bhagavan, to Vatapatra Sai, her Bhagavan. So she thinks that if he wears this, it is as good as me having got married to him because I can't, wait this way any longer. So having worn it, she looks at herself. She's looking beautiful. So she is now wanting to give it to her father. Just as how when she was removing it, her father enters the place and he sees her wearing the garland. He is shocked. He is like, Goda, what are you doing? She's like, no, Appa, this is for Bhagavan. I just wore, but it is for Bhagavan. And he is really, really upset. He says, don't you know where we all belong? All of us are the Tondas. We are supposed to be subservient to Bhagavan, where whatever he gives, we accept it. We are the dasas. We cannot wear something and then give it to him. He has to wear it and we take it as prasadas, right? So he wears something, he gives his clothes, it becomes something that we wear. He wears his ornaments, he gives it, we wear it. He wears his flowers, we take it as a prasad. We show the food to him first and then we consume. So all of us are dasas. We can't eat, we can't wear something and then give it to him, right? That is inappropriate. You've done a big mistake. This is just not right. It is not your lakshana. So he actually is very upset. So he does not take this garland to the temple. Goda is upset, very, very upset. Oh, Bhagavan, if you are not going to accept my garland also, how are you going to accept me? So she's not able to, you know, really get in tune with what is happening. So she's crying, she's upset, like, Bhagavan is not accepting my garland. Did I make any mistake? I did it with pure heart only. I wanted Bhagavan to get married to me from my childhood all the way till now. What is something that I made? Is Bhagavan not going to accept me? She's like in a very, very contemplative mood. Now, Vishnu Chitta cried, oh my God, please, my daughter has made a mistake. It's her ignorance that made her do this. Excuse her. Do not take it otherwise. I will quickly make another garland and then offer it to you. So, saying with so much of grief in him, he sleeps off crying. And Bhagavan comes in the dream of our Vishnu Chitta. He says, Goda has created this garland completely immersed in her devotion. There is nothing else which will give me so much of happiness as Goda's mala, which she had worn and she has given it to me. So I will not accept any other garland. Please bring only this garland to me, says Bhagavan. Now Vishnu Chitta is like, oh my God, Bhagavan wants Goda's garland. So he quickly takes that garland which was created by Goda and then he runs to the temple and he offers that. Now Bhagavan accepts it, and as a Asariri, Bhagavan speaks. He says, go get her decorated as a beautiful bride and bring her to the temple. So Vishnuchita is so excited. Bhagavan wants my daughter to be decorated in a bridal way and bring her here. Oh my God! So she is completely filled with devotion. I'm so lucky to have her as my daughter. And how did I not even understand it in the initial times? And he's very happy about all what is happening there. At that point, what happens is Bhagavan also goes in the dream of the Pandya king and says, make all arrangements for Godha Vivaha. So you have to bring her from her place all the way to the Sriranga temple. And same time, Bhagavan also comes in the dream of the temple's pandit. So he says that make all the necessary uh, arrangements, from the traditional way in the temple, so that everything will happen seamlessly. Now, what happens is Goda is there, still feeling very sad because her father decided not to take the garland to Bhagavan. So she is crying, if Bhagavan is not even accepting my garland, how is he going to accept me? I was thinking Bhagavan is going to accept me. So Goda is really sad, sitting there. Why is this happening? Did I not give it to you with my full heart and all that? Now Vishnuchita, with all that excitement, rushes to the place, and then he starts calling her, Goda, 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 where are you? Where are you? And then this little girl comes from inside, her eyes filled with tears and saying, Appa, I'm so sorry if I have hurt you. And all she says, and she's coming out. Vishnuchita sees his daughter. She is so blemishless. She is filled with so much of tejas. She is a personification of absolute divinity. She is going to get married to the ultimate Bhagavan. She is Mata of the entire world. So he says, Andal. Now Goda is like, who are you calling, Appa? I'm your Goda. I'm your daughter Goda here. He says, Bhagavan rules over everyone in the entire universe, in all the cosmos, in all his creations, in Sarva Lokas. Therefore, he is called as Andavan, the ruler of everyone. But Goda, you know what you did? With your ultimate bhakti, with your ultimate devotion, you have ruled the ruler itself. So if he is Andavan, you are Andal, you are his ruler. You have ruled him. Bhagavan has accepted the garland which you have already worn, and he is now wearing that. Goda is so happy. My Bhagavan has accepted my garland, so I am now married to him. We have exchanged the garland. So her eyes are filled with tears of happiness now that she is like, I really wanted this day. I was waiting for this day from the day I was born, and Bhagavan has accepted my garland, so he is going to accept me. So Vishnuchita says that he wants you to get decked as a bride and visit him. Now, Vishnuchitta or Periyalvar and Andal, she's got her new title from her father, who has called her as the ruler of God. Bhagavane Andaval Andal. So she is ruled Bhagavan. So with this, they discuss which god will be appropriate. They look at all the temples, the Divya Desas, as to which god she can get married to. And then they finalize that the right person for Goda is the Bhagavan in Sri Rangam. So by that time, because Bhagavan has already come in the dream of the king Pandya, Pandya has sent all his, required chariot, everything, people, whatever is required to take Godha to Srirangam is already waiting, at our doorsteps. And because Bhagavan was so anxious, right, he's created every requirement. The priest there is made everything ready for Godha to be, welcome into the Srirangam temple. With everything set, Goda is now decked up like a beautiful bride, full of tejas, looking like goddess Mahalakshmi. She sits on the chariot, dreaming of Bhagavan. Her entire, songs of the Vaaranamaayiram is now going on in her mind. She's like, when am I going to meet Bhagavan? When am I going to meet Bhagavan? Like the way Akrura was like looking forward to reaching Krishna. Thoughts, words, deeds, everything filled with Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. She is waiting. Think of what her mindset would have been. She has been waiting for this moment from the time she was born. All the Leelas of Krishna has always been there. She eats, feeds, drinks him, and now she's going to get married to him. He's already accepted her garland, so she goes there. So the moment she gets down, the priest does, all her welcome, getting her into the temple. They are led into the sanctum sanctorium in the most religious way with all the Veda Goshas, the appropriate mantras. Everything happens there. And then Goda goes inside the sanctum sanctorium along with Periyalvar. Now Andal goes there. Bhagavan is waiting for her. So he is now in the form of Ranganatha. She climbs up the Sheshavahana, the Adi Shesha of Bhagavan, and instantly merges with Bhagavan right there. So Andal now becomes Andal Sameta Rangamannar. The couple now are divine Mata and Pita. They become our Divya Dampati. Goda now becomes Goda Sameta Rangamannar. So Bhagavan has got married to Goda, and this was witnessed by Periyalvar right there. So he says, "You have accepted my daughter. Now, why don't you accept me? I would also like to come there and be of eternal service to you." And Bhagavan says, "Please construct a temple to Goda and me in Srivilliputtur. We will come there and we will do, whatever Goda had dreamt. As in the vaaranamaayiram paasuram, we will get married that way again. And then I will be there as your son in law. After you complete whatever is required in order to spread the bhakti, create the temple, and spread the word of Andal to everybody who requires it, you can definitely come and join us eternally." So after this, the Srivilliputtur of Andal was constructed. Even today, if we go, we can see the beautiful temple in Srivilliputtur, which is also the emblem in Tamil Nadu. If you notice the state government's emblem, we can see the actual Tulasi Mada below which goddess Andal was born. So we can see that even today. We can see the temple beautifully decorated, which will remind us of a lot of things that we spoke today. The way Andal, woke up every person, the kind of gopikas around, everything that surrounding place is so serene, so beautiful that it'll bring us all these beautiful messages that we've been discussing. So that Goda, that Andal, now became Andal Sameda Rangamannar. She came here to give us the Sara of all the Vedas. She came here just because she wanted all of us to be uplifted. She came here, she exchanged the garland with Bhagavan. She lived here to speak about the greatness of Sharanagati, of how we should surrender to Bhagavan, how we can get rid of our repeated cycles of births and deaths. So she has given us all what we need. All we have to do is surrender at her feet, go by whatever she has taught us, recite whatever she has given us, and she will take care of the rest of the things, whatever we require for our life. So, Goda Sameda Rangamannar Tiruvadigalే Sharanam, Vadi, Vadi, Vadi. So, this great Goda will take care of everything that we need for this life and for our eternal life. Andal Tiruvadigalே Sharanam, Rangamannar Tiruvadigalே Sharanam. Vasuna, are you available? So,
Tiruvadigalే Sharanam. This is such a experience that one is sure to relish for not days, not even months, but for years to come through. And those who know Andal, I'm sure they are already in this swimming, diving deep into these lovely experiences of Andal. And those who are new to this beautiful yet such a brilliant mother for us in the form of a 5-year-old girl. She is a treasure for us, and her words are just the quintessence to what one should desire for life. And in that way, this dream song of Godha is such a way that tells one so many facts that dreams are truth. Dreams are reflection of our secondary or the actual identities. Dreams are transformation processes. Good dreams are the symbols of good virtues and good life that we carry forward. And through Andal, how to dream, what to dream, and how to dedicate and beautiful processes we are able to experience through Godha. How to accomplish the dream, Godha is the formula. What should be the dream, Godha is the formula. And how to dream. Even every word of Godha here is being so beautifully unshelled, uncovered, and every bud has been beautifully bloomed by Praveena ji, and its fragrance is now really spread all over, across in all our hearts and ears. Thank you so much, Praveena ji, for this speechless, priceless offering and the journey that you took all of us with. Andal Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.
Andal Tiruvadigalai Sharanam. Can you sing Vadi Tirunamam or something from the Vaaranamaayiram series? Anything of your choice on Andalana?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, definitely. வாரணமாயிரம் சூழவலம் செய்து நாரண நம்பி நடக்கின்றான் என் ஏது பூரண பொற்குடம் வைத்து புறமெங்கும் தோரணம் நாட்ட கனா கண்டேன் தோழி நான் இந்திரன் உள்ளிட்ட தேவர் குழாமெல்லாம் வந்திருந்தென்னை மகட்பேசி மந்திரித்து மந்திர கோடி மந்திர கோடி உடுத்தே மணமாலை அந்தரி சூட்ட கனா கண்டேன் தோழி நான் குங்குமமப்பி குளிர் சார்தம் மட்டித்து மங்கள வீதி வலம் செய்து மணநீர் அங்கு அவனோடு உடல் சென்று அங்கனை மேல் மஞ்சனம் நாட்டக்கன கண்டேன் தோழி ஆயனுக்காகத்தான் ஆயனுக்காகத்தான் கனா கண்ட ஆயனுக்காகத்தான் கண்ட கனாவினை வேயர் புகழ் வில்லி புத்தூர் கோன் கோதை சொல் தூய தமிழ் மாலை ஈரேந்தும் வல்லவர் வாயும் நல்மக்களை பெற்று மகிழ்வாரே பெற்று மகிழ்வாரே ஏ శతముఖమణి నీల చారు కల్హార హస్త స్తన భరణమితాంగీ సాంద్ర వాత్సల్య సింధు అళక వినిహిత सृग्वीरा कृष्ण नाथ विलसतु हृदि गोदा विष्णुचित्तात्मजानः विष्णुचित्तात्मजा गोदा विलसतु हृदि विष्णुचित्तात्मजानः. May this Goda always shelter in our hearts and take us through her path of bhakti, prapatti, sharanagati and Akhanda Kalyana Yatra with Sriman Narayana. Andal Tiruvadigalé Sharanam.
கோதை பிறந்த ஊர் கோவிந்தன் வாழும் ஊர் சோதி மணிமாடம் தோன்றும் ஊர் நீதியால் நல்ல பக்தர் வாழும் ஊர் நான் மறைகளோதும் ஊர் வில்லிப்புத்தூர் வேதக்கோனூர் பாதகங்கள் தீர்க்கும் பரமனடி காட்டும் வேதமனைத்துக்கும் வித்தாகும் கோதை தமிழ் ஐயைந்தும் ஐந்தும் அறியாத மானிடரை வையம் சுமப்பதும் வம்பு திருவாடிப்பூரத்து ஜெகத்துதித்தாள் வாழியே திருப்பாவை முப்பதும் செப்பினாள் வாழியே பெரியாழ்வார் பெற்றெடுத்த பெண் பிள்ளை வாழியே பெரம்பூதூர் மாமுனிக்கு பின்னானாள் வாழியே 143 உரைத்தாள் வாழியே உயரரங்கற்கே கண்ணி உகந்தளித்தாள் வாழியே மறுவாரூர் திருவல்லி வளநாடி வாழியே வன்புதுவை நகர் கோதை மலர் பதங்கள் வாழியே வாழி வாழி வாழியே ஆண்டாள் சமேத ரங்கமன்னார் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜெய் ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ணா.